We are going to look at the Ultra X3 1000 watt power supply. This is a really famous power supply in the market right now. So many people are buying it because it's one of the main reason is it's a fully modular power supply, 100% modular power supply, and it performs really well. You're talking about 70 amps in the 12 volt rail, and also it will support AMD or Intel motherboards. When you are buying a power supply, first you will have to identify how much power you need to run your system. You can determine how much power you will need. Simply you can go online and search for power supply calculators. One of my favorites are Extreme Power Supply Calculator and Newegg Power Supply Calculator. You just have to go to these sites and put your specification and it will identify how much power you need. Well, let's take a look at the power supply closely. Here you get your 135mm fan, and on this side there is a sticker in order to show you how the wattage of this power supply is determined. Your 3.3/5 volt rail gives you 160 volts, and your 12 volt rail, which is responsible for your VGA cards, for hard drives and optical drives, etc., gives a wattage of 840 watts, and that's how together the 1000 watts of this power supply has been determined. And on top and the side of this power supply has a mirror black finish, and it looks really great. If you have a clear side panel in your case, this power supply will look really great. Behind you find all the modular connectors for all your power requirements for your motherboard, your VGA cards and hard drives, optical drives, and etc. And in the front it has a honeycomb ventilation system and also your power on off switch, and this is where your AC power adapter will get installed. Inside you will get loads of power connectors. These are few power connectors from the lot of power connections you have inside. This is your main motherboard power connector, and here you have a PCI Express. I think it's a 8-pin power connector. Here you go, and you have a separate 8-pin power connector for your motherboard, and there's a separate cable for your fans, one Molex in the other side, and you can connect 3 fans here. There you go. And your SATA power cables, and a 6-pin power connector for your graphic cards, and Molex power connectors. So there are a lot of options and a lot of cables that you could choose from. This is a very popular power supply due to the performance and mainly due to the 100% modular design, and also it has a 100,000 hours MTBF, which means mean time before failure. So that is read at 100,000 hours, and also it has all the current standards such as active PFC, short circuit protection, inrush current protection, thermal overload cutoff protection. So you don't have to worry about anything about that. This power supply works at 85% efficiency at typical load, because when you are buying a power supply you have to make sure that you buy a power supply above 80% efficiency, and this does that for you. If someone is planning to buy this power supply, I would recommend anyone who would want to buy this. However, Ultra have come up with their new series of power supply, that's X4 power supplies, which has a single 12 volt rail for your all power requirements. Most people prefer to have a single 12 volt rail, but it's a bit pricey than the X3 power supply, and still this X3 1000 watt power supply is a great performer. So if you're planning to buy one, get one of these. Okay, I have plugged in the new
Ultra X3 power supply into my computer system. As you can see here, it's more than enough to power up all the components in my CPU. I have 4 hard drives and the GTX 295 VGA, which requires 8-pin PCI Express power connection and a 6-pin PCI Express power connection, and the normal motherboard 24-pin power supply and another 8-pin power unit for the motherboard, and all the fans I have connected. As you can see, there are a bunch of different fans which is working here inside this CPU, and still I have loads and loads of connections left. So this power supply, overall this power supply is an awesome product which keeps things clean and sweet. Okay then, thank you for joining in with the Rsquare video reviews. Hope to see you next time with a new video review. Thank you.